So ALBT, this one we played this morning from 56 cents all the way to 83 cents. I do still want to watch it today. You've got some range, but that dollar level is going to be kind of hard. That dollar level is going to be rather hard. So how do I want to watch it? Well, either off a pullback down into, really, I'd say off of 70 cents. It looks great. Or look at it over $1. All right, so either look at it over 70 cents or 68 cents down there off of VWAP before this next leg really started to pick up, or watch it over $1. And so I've got my one of two ways to watch it there. It's a good look, but I want to watch it those two ways this morning. Either over that dollar level we're talking about. Over $1 though, you have range here to about 140. You've got nice range. So on ALBT, let me get this typed up here real quick. Let's see. Stop watches into open. ALBT, so we're going to watch it either, like I said, off of 70 cents, or we'll do 68, or over $1. Of course, if you're watching it off 68 cents, your range here is going to be pretty much back to 81.50. I might even watch it up 81.50 out of the open. So we're going to watch 68 and 81. I want to watch both. Yeah, let's watch both ways. So either watch the dip over 68 or 81, or watch it over $1. Both of those look really good. SGD, a little bit of volume, not much range though. If you guys could let me know in chat too, if you guys have audio, that would be great. That way I know that all the sound is working. Sometimes we have issues with it, so I like to make sure. Buru, nice look in pre-market, but your range is kind of weird. Let's see, over 260, do you have anything to watch? Well, really, you do. You could watch this back up into the threes. On BURU. Over 250. I'll watch it. Yeah. Buru over 250. Pretty simple setup there on the little break of those lower highs. Watch over 250, over 250 here. You've got range back to 3 and 330. Let's see, SERV, a little bit of action here this morning too after news with, I believe it was Shake Shack this morning. For some reason not showing up on my news scanner here, but I believe I saw Shake Shack news this morning. So I do want to watch this one out of the open today too. We played this a lot the last few weeks. We didn't touch it in the last week or so, but it is starting to look good again. I want to watch it this morning over 13.20 or 13.15 even. We can do that. We can do 13.15 or 13.10, somewhere in the low 13s. As long as this can base and we see sellers dry up into the low 13s out of the bell, this thing looks great. For that curl, the curl back up into the 1550s, 16s, it's a great look. And again, we have news on it this morning too. It trades generally pretty well. But again, I want to see it hold over the 13s this morning. Preferably after the bell, look for pullback entries if sellers dry up for the range back to 1550 and 16s. I'll say 1650. So 1550 to 1650 is your range here off pullbacks out of the open on SERV, which has news this morning. I believe it's more AI news with, yes, AI robot deliveries with Shake Shack. Yep, exactly. Okay. Exactly. All right, so we've got Shake Shack news, AI news. This is going to be watching off of, we'll say 13. Keep it easy. And the range here is going to be back to 1550 and 1650. It's a very easy setup there. It looks really good. And again, using those lows back here, if you look at the hourly time frame, you'll see where we're getting these levels from. On the hourly, using these lows back here from last week, just want to see it hold off the lows. You've also got the hourly 200 moving average right below price as well, right there at $12.99. So I want to see it hold off of the moving average there and hold over those lows from last week and hopefully get the curl back up into 15s and 16s. CDT, no thanks. Let's see, finish going through our gappers here. Victoria's Secret up this morning. Not a fan. Kind of bumped up into supply here between 22 and 23. So right now I have ALBT, Buru, and SERV currently. Let's see. Any other gappers that we've got? I know we have a lot of earnings names this week. And yesterday, small caps were a little bit slower. We still did really well on SoundHound. We traded CXAI for a win after the bell. We did really well after open, but then everything started to really slow down. And so we actually had to trade Tesla yesterday. We did really, really good on Tesla. It was one of my biggest wins yesterday, profit-wise. And so I'm hoping small caps are a bit more active today. We had a lot of activity into the close yesterday in small caps. So fingers crossed we get something going there, but it's just going to be a matter of waiting, seeing what we get. And like we taught in the boot camp last night, we talked about slow market mindset. One of the biggest things is you've just got to realize that there's going to be slow periods in the market, and you just have to accept that sometimes you're going to have to just sit back. No FOMO, no chasing, no trying to come back in the afternoons to make something happen with forced trades, right? So if you see nothing moving that meets your criteria, you're just sitting back and waiting and not taking a trade. Some days, the best trade is no trade, and that's what you've just got to understand. And so hopefully today gives us some good opportunities. So far, we're seeing 3 setups. Let me go through the nightly watch list real quick. And we have a few setups there. I believe we have 4 setups to go over there. Starting with the bottom, we have Intel. Starting with the bottom, we've got Intel. So we want to watch this one today. If we find strong buyers out of the bell over 20.5, which we are above right now, but I need to see some pretty serious volume before this is going to be considered valid. Otherwise, I'm leaving it alone. 20.5 break for the range here to 21.40 and 22. On the little daily break up there for a little bounce, hopefully. PSIG we have to look at. And we want to watch PSIG this morning if we find buyers. If we find buyers over the 206s this morning. So PSIG over 206, as long as it holds, you've got the range there back up into the 2.6s and 3s on PSIG. So watch it off 206 for the range back to we'll say 2.6, maybe 2.8. It's a great look, though. We played it 2 days ago. We also took a little lotto play. I hold it overnight. Little lotto, see what it wants to do, but I don't have any real size in it. So we've got 260 and 280 on PSIG. And that one is good to go. ELWS, this was our winner from yesterday. We traded this in the afternoon pretty well. Held its gains all day, and it's actually still holding its gains here in pre-market this morning, so it's a great look. And I wanted to watch this with no specific entry criteria yet. My only plan on this was just to keep an eye on it if we can find buyers interested in price again this morning. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. Most likely, it means I'm going to probably play it on some dips. Otherwise, you're buying up into supply overhead. You can see sellers up there in the 470s and the 490s. And so for that reason, I'm a little bit hesitant to take a breakout here if we do find buyers at the bell. I would be a lot more inclined to take a pullback entry after the bell, risking like, 390 or something. I feel like that's probably the way to go, or maybe 388. That's more so the way to go, to look for that curl back up into the 440s to play this range today. So I would be watching ELWS off of dips in the bell down into hopefully under 4, or at least low 4s, risking 388 for a little reversal if we do find low volume sellers after the bell. That's the best way that I see looking at this for now. Otherwise, like I said, you're kind of getting bumped up into supply, and I don't know. Obviously, you've got some range on it, but clearly struggled yesterday trying to curl. If you do take a break, you just got to make sure your entry is pretty tight. Otherwise, I mean, you're buying up in the 450s and you've got no range to like 465. And so if I do take this on a breakout, it'll have to be, I mean, you're talking super tight over 440. Even then, I don't love that. So for right now, let's plan on looking for dips over 388. That's my top plan on this. The 388 for the range back to 440 and 470. I don't love the breakouts here because what you'll look back at here on the 10-minute time frame from yesterday, you see these sellers overhead, 490s, 470s, 470s. Again, you keep on finding sellers every time it tries to break to the upside. So clear supply overhead. And we also have CNTM to watch today. That makes it our 7th setup of the morning. We watched it yesterday too. It was on the watch list for the previous day too, and it never met criteria, so we never traded it, obviously. But I wanted to watch it again today if we could actually find some decent volume, and I don't know that we will. Even pre-market looks pretty dead on this. So I'm still going to put it on the list of things to look at if it does miraculously find volume today, but I'm not really too keen on playing this. It's going to have to be over 135. But again, I need to see a lot more volume. I mean, a lot more volume. Right now, we're trading hardly anything here. So, 135s, need to find buyers above for the range back to 160s and so on. So, it's a good look, but just, again, there's no volume. So, that leaves us with ALBT, BURU, SCRV, INTC, PSIG, ELWS, and CNTM. Okay, caught up over here real quick. More large caps. Yeah, if small caps are slow, we'll try and integrate them if we can, if there is opportunity. You got to think, though, when it comes to trading large cap stocks, a majority can't really capitalize on large cap stocks the same way they can with a small cap stock. Obviously, share price is a lot higher. They're a lot less volatile. And so people that are newer traders with smaller accounts have a hard time capitalizing. Unless you're catching big picture moves. And in this market, catching a big picture move in a large cap stock is, you know, next to impossible because of the ranginess of the market, how weak and sideways everything's been. So that's the biggest thing when it comes to looking at this, the large cap stocks. Now, Tesla yesterday was, I mean, it had quite a bit of range. We traded it really well. And so I think even if you had a smaller account, you probably could have made a few bucks on Tesla. But even then, it's still, you know, nothing like a small cap stock. All right, so let me get everything pulled up here. Make sure you guys spend the next couple minutes getting all of these charts pulled up and marked up. We've got about 9 minutes until the open, and we've got about 7 setups for you to be pulling up here. So make sure you do that. Go through each chart, mark your levels. That way you are ready for the open. We've got some pretty good looks. And hopefully they meet criteria after open so we can take some trades. Hopefully, as well, we have some good follow-through today because yesterday follow-through was horrible. And as another quick reminder, as we always do, if you ever get a DM from anybody with my name or my profile picture, it's not me. It's not me. So make sure you do block and report any imposters. I'm not going to DM you asking about crypto or mirror trading or anything like that. So just block and report any DMs. And if you are new, make sure you're not trading the first day with us. Make sure you go through the Start Here category first and go through all of those channels before you get started so you're not lost and losing money for no reason. All right, I've got all of my charts pulled up, ready to go. So I think that I am ready for the open. Market very sideways after CPI this morning, so I'm going to have to sit back a few minutes after the bell and see which it chooses. Hopefully the upside, but either way, as long as we have a trend, that's going to be my biggest peeve today. I don't want to see a sideways market. I want to see some sort of trend that we can, yeah, just hopefully see some sort of trend, because yesterday was super range bound the first hour and a half of the market, and so it really limited our opportunities yesterday.